in this episode.
However you say the word, ergodynamically okay for like my length of pull and everything. I don't know why. Like I was like, why is the weird burst the only one that seems okay?
Hey, sometimes poor is not just a mindset, it's a lifestyle.
Okay, listen here, check it out.
In an obtuse world, Mark and Jefe will combine military, law enforcement, and general FUD knowledge to keep you vertical. Welcome to the Live, Laugh, Larp podcast.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Thanks for joining us on another edition of the Live, Laugh, Larp podcast. We certainly do appreciate you guys swinging by, taking the time to listen to us vent, scream, yell into the ether, and to, bring some guests on, have some zany conversations. I said zany.
You did.
I did. Hey, co-host is here. How you doing, Jefe?
I found out actually the other day I was listening to some guys on the internet, and they said 50% of all content is AI generated on the internet now. So to our AI overlords, you guys are doing swell work, and I'm glad that we do this so you guys can listen to us and feed the algorithms.
Have you seen the memes going around about people saying thank you to Chat GPT?
I think we talked about this like every podcast since that article came out like 3 months ago.
So when Skynet becomes self-aware, they'll spare us because we were polite to them.
It's like that Dane Cook joke. Thanks for the Snickers. But I'm here. It's All Hallows Eve. It's like we have like a
actually it's All Hallows Eve. Yeah,
it's the eve of Hallows Eve, and we have like a triple holiday hitting us right now.
Right. Well, at the same time, when this comes out,
we'll be in the middle of Snapocalypse.
That's right.
We'll be in the middle of that. So
I will be as you guys are. If you're listening to this when this releases,
November 1st,
I will be in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, yeah, you're doing that still?
I am doing
so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be really great.
Bring back some warm weather.
So the great, I know, right? The great thing about it is the youngin, Little Fit, she turned 16, and for her birthday present, her mom is taking her to Orlando, and she doesn't know that I'm flying in with Nan and the kids, and we're going to surprise her, and she has no idea about it, and she's going to freak out.
Like a good freak out, right?
Good freak out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally good freak out. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But obviously doing what you have taught me to do is started already looking at doing site surveys and understanding what's going on, where the hot spots in the area. Don't know what's going to be happening. So, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I'm sure everything will be fine. I'm sure everybody will be fine.
Nothing ever happens.
But one of the things that we do need to take a second to do is say a huge thank you to XS Sites. You guys know that they have been sponsoring this podcast for quite some time now.
A year now, right?
Yeah, just about. They came on a couple podcasts ago. If you guys haven't taken the time to listen to that podcast,
and confirm that they're going to give away free hot dogs at the shot booth.
Correct.
We're going to continue to tell that lie.
May or may not be handing out shot dogs. Shot dogs.
I like that one. Shot dogs.
Hot shows.
That sounds like we need to get a couple donkeys all lined up for that weekend.
Oh my God. Anyway, well, let's pull it back here. You guys know that XS Site is the premier sighting systems for your Glocks, for your PDPs, for your lever guns, for your AKs, for your ARs. If you need a set of iron sights, XS Sites should have an option for you. If they don't, send them an email. They probably can help you out one way or the other. And we certainly do appreciate you guys. We appreciate them supporting us, and they have given us a discount code to say thank you to you guys for listening to the podcast. It's 20% off anything from XS Sites using the code LARP. That's LARP. So thank you, XS Sites. We surely do appreciate it. We can't wait to see them at SHOT Show. It's gonna be a good time.
It'll be a good time.
We need to buy airline tickets, I think.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after we're done
Oh,
bringing in our
goodness,
guests.
yeah,
Speaking
that's
of our
right.
guests,
Speaking of our guests, let's go ahead and bring both of our guests. We're going to have like
another
a
four-way call.
Yeah, four-way going on.
So we have on today, we have Madison and Zach with the Modular Target Systems. Hey guys, how you doing this evening?
Hey, what's up? Hey, thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. We wouldn't have had it any other way. And we certainly do appreciate you guys taking the time. I know that things are a little bit chaotic for you guys because big things are happening. And we want you guys to tell us all about that. But before we
begin that, who are you guys and what do you guys do?
There you go.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. So my name is Maddie. I've been in the firearms industry for about something around 5 years now. I have a couple companies in the industry. One of them is a training company. It's called the Red Letter Project, and the other is a newly started company called Modular Target Systems. A little bit of backstory between how Zach and I met. Through the Red Letter Project, training and doing training all over the Southeast. He was, I think, taking a class at some point. We ended up becoming friends, and he ended up becoming a huge part of what we do at Red Letter, which is partially mission work, partially training people. So he's been a really big part of Red Letter Project. And then not too long ago, we had this idea. He helped me manufacture and produce it, which I guess I will probably talk a lot about. And then we recently launched this new company. So I'll let Zach introduce himself real quick, and then I'm sure we can kind of get into that.
Well, I'm Zach. Currently the COO of Modular Target Systems, and also the founder and owner of Method Manufacturing and Design. I'm basically the engineer and designer of all the products of Modular Target Systems. Basically, Maddie just comes to me with her idea and just busts down my door halfway through the day and just tells me, "Hey, I got a new idea. Make it happen," and I try and make it happen. So yeah, it's just a good relationship we have, and just trying to make our dreams a reality.
Yeah,
Cool.
for sure.
So let's talk a little bit. What is Modular Target Systems?
So it's a competitive shooting sports product. Have you guys ever messed around with scale targets at all? Like, do you know what those are?
Yes,
Yes.
I have a lot of soggy paper on my garage wall.
There you go. That's exactly why we made them.
Interested in all this.
That's exactly why we made them. So I'll explain it for people that are listening that don't know what they are. So scale targets are basically full size shooting targets scaled down to a certain size to simulate varying distances within a small space. So basically, like if you wanted to simulate a realistic 25-yard shot within your 3 by 5 foot area in your house, you can do that with a scaled target, but you can still see it visually accurately. So it's really helpful for training. It's actually, I think, very, very necessary for good, solid performance training. And so, what Modular Target Systems is basically a play on your standard cardboard scale targets. We have basically a plastic magnetic version of them, so it's very easy to change out the accessories. It's very easy to set up like 3D stages and drills. Basically, it's an expansion of what was already there before. But it sounds like you can kind of relate to the fact that the cardboard gets soggy, it gets old. If you travel with it, you have to tape it to the wall. They fall off the wall. It's really annoying. It's 2-dimensional. You can only do so many things with them. So this is kind of that in between of it's not virtual reality, so it's not going to cost you $1 million to have a 3D stage, but it's not just two-dimensional paper on the wall. So I don't know, Zach, if you want to add anything else, but we have like a whole product line currently being built out with all the different accessories and everything. It's been really fun.
Yeah, I'll add basically all of our accessories, like the hardcover type things, for your cardboard targets.
Yep.
Yes.
So like for those who don't know, hardcover is basically a black piece that you have on a target that doesn't count if you shoot it.
Mark's
So-
familiar with shooting those.
Yeah.
No, that's the hostage targets, man.
He knows them well, unfortunately, it sounds like.
So yeah, like with cardboard targets, it's its own individual target. So if you want to have like multiple targets, then like you have to move one other hardcover targets around in order to create space. Whereas with our system, the hardcover part is separate.
Yeah.
So that can go from target to target. So you don't have to move around an individual target. You just move that one piece. Which is one of the big selling points, is just you don't have to spend so much time rearranging things. It's
Basically
very
like Legos.
Yeah.
It's very rapidly deployable.
Yeah, for sure. And I can tell you, today was range day for me to capture some B-roll for my upcoming video. And, moving targets around can be a nightmare. I mean, just on the flat range, just trying to get everything set up and everything like that. So to hear you guys having some type of training, quote unquote, simulator that allows you just to kind of slap these things together real quick is very interesting to me because of trying to get better into the competition world.
How many years have you been trying that, man?
Yeah, I know. We're
Yeah.
we're at least at a decade at this point.
Yeah.
Well, it's we partially created it too because it relieves some of the friction that it kind of surrounds competitive training. Like it consumes quite a bit of your time throughout the week. It's like if you train 10-15 minutes throughout your day here and there, a lot of that time can be sucked up by just setup and tear down and like getting yourself situated and everything. So the idea behind it was to kind of reduce that friction so it's a little bit more smooth line to go train and it's not such a big ordeal to get everything set up. So that's kind of what we're hoping for, and it's, at least for me personally, it's made a big difference.
Well, then what I think is I'm looking at, so did do like a full introduction before all this. I'm also a police officer. I'm in charge of our firearms training department, and nothing's more annoying than hauling around big roll up targets, the cardboard targets, trying to create interesting dynamic ranges for dry fire training or for any of our training. And like I've been proverbially bitching and moaning for years now, trying to figure out a better system. We've like laminated things, we've done all that stuff, and you guys have infinitely solved my problem. So I am so interested in your target. So like I understand there's a lot that goes into the development of this. What and I'm assuming that goes along with your training company. How have you guys been using your product so far? And tell us a little bit about I guess like the intended use and some creative stuff that you've seen so far.
Yeah, for sure. I think all of the ideas came from kind of the place that you were saying, where one of us got annoyed after doing it for so long of, dragging cardboard everywhere, traveling with scaled targets in my backpack and them getting crushed halfway through TSA. Like it's like all the same problems. They just started kind of like accumulating over time. And, we tried the laminating the targets, we tried the paper ones, we tried the cardboard ones. I even actually created an entire set of scaled, like cardboard scale targets that I hand glued like random magnets on the back and tried to make like my own little PVC thing. And the reason this idea kind of came about is because I created, I think it was like 6 or 7 PVC stands by hand. And I had glued magnets on like 20 different, regular Ben Stoker cardboard targets. And it literally took me like 3 days to accomplish the whole project. It was actually amazing how long it took. And partially it's because I suck at engineering things and like putting things together. But like it took me a really long time and the results weren't that good. And I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And I had a couple other ideas like training aid wise in the back of my mind. So it's funny, kind of how me and Zach operate. We always joke around. Have you guys ever seen the show Phineas and Ferb?
Not
I don't think so.
not recently.
Oh my
no.
gosh,
The one with the
seriously?
platypus detective.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
Oh, right.
Okay, so the premise of the story is basically there's like Phineas and Ferb. Ferb is the quiet one that like engineers everything, and Phineas is like the crazy one with all the ideas and like is constantly like that's basically how our dynamic works, and it's actually funny. He is Ferb in my phone because like he's not kidding when I was like just busted through the door one day and was like, I have this idea, we have to do it, it's gonna be awesome, and then it just took off. But I was like, hey, like I'm constantly dealing with this issue, which means that other people are probably dealing with this issue as well. How can we streamline this? And I came up with this idea for the magnetic targets being like plastic and stuff. And then Zach is really good at, design work and things like that. And he very, very quickly, it was like within a weekend, had something drawn up and a couple prototypes made and everything. He sent them to me and I started using them in my day job, which is like I train full time. So I started bringing them to the range and putting students on them and using them in my own personal dry fire and bringing them to matches and stuff and showing people. And it immediately had this crazy response of like, oh my gosh, you like, these are great. You need to sell them. So it was like only a matter of time between how fast we could get the idea to actual like final prototype. That was like a rush for us because there was so much demand so quickly for them after just simply showing it to the world. Because apparently it's a huge problem for other people too.
Correct. And then and so again, we're recording this on the 30th. You guys just had a pre-launch and sold out in what, 45 minutes?
Yeah. We did
Mhm.
pre-sale last week or this week, something. The weeks are blurring together, but
27th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
27th. So
27th.
30 days
yeah,
ago.
27th.
So congratulations on that, by the way.
Thanks.
That's awesome to hear. It's always great to hear people that actually come up with something unique and innovative. And then the second they do like even a pre-sale, it's like, okay, well, 45 minutes, I've sold everything. So I'm going the right direction at least.
Yeah, the something with business is like if supply is your biggest constraint, you have something good. So we were pretty happy with that, and there was definitely a lot of thought behind the marketing and the leading up to the pre-sale. Like we did that very strategically. So it's been nice to kind of see the fruits of that labor actually like happen. So I don't know. I was super excited. I know Zach, you're probably like, okay, now we have to make all of these things.
Yep, very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Zach, turning to you a little bit. So was it method engineering, method?
Method manufacturing and design.
Okay.
Yep.
So how'd you get started with that? Where did that all come from?
That's just kind of like one of my, I guess, company ideas that I've had for a while. And I just saw this as a great opportunity to like basically make my company make these targets for modular target systems. Um, and it just kind of gives both of our companies like a good tie-in. Just because like we don't want to ship this overseas,
Mm-hmm.
to like China. Even though it probably would be cheaper, we also know that there would probably be a knockoff within like a month or two. So being able to do it in-house with our own like manufacturing equipment and just know that we can have full control over the quality of our products is just very reassuring because it's great for us because we know it, but it's also great for all of our customers because they know that it's all U.S. made and U.S. designed. So it's just, they know that they're getting the best that they can get.
We just actually had thank you. We just had do you guys know who Hamray Forge is at all? Ryan Hamray. Have you heard of him at all? He's kind of a revolver guy, so it's cool if you haven't.
I don't think I have.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I'm not super into revolvers.
That's
Mhm.
no one is until they are. It's and he and a guy K9 Defense who does drones, USA made drones for DoD and law enforcement. We had him on talking about we had a long discussion about the the challenges it has having a USA made product versus a Chinese made product. And so it's really fascinating hearing from, because they're both manufacturers. That's what I want word I'm trying to use. And it's awesome to hear that you guys are doing this USA side, not shipping it out to somewhere, not trying to, there's a pride factor in it of keeping it stateside rather than sending it off overseas. Maybe making the product a little bit more affordable or like cheaper, I guess, maybe a better word. But at the same time, now you can say proudly, like I feel like this has been like a normal a thing that's been really popular in the past year and a half. Is there's an actual pride to USA made items. So it's really awesome that you guys are sticking to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of value too in kind of how we have this whole thing set up is, MTS was, the idea. It's more of like the front facing side. Zach's company Method is like the back end manufacturing everything. So it's kind of nice to have two companies kind of collaborate. And we're both close friends. We've worked together through Red Letter for a long time, know each other super well. We're not super far away location wise, so it just kind of made sense to be like, okay, like let's keep it in house. Like I'm one of those people where if a friend or a family member has a business or has an idea they want to pursue or has anything dream wise that I can contribute to, I'm like, absolutely, I would rather give you the business. I would rather like do this thing with you than outsource it to some rando or some like company overseas. Like it doesn't make sense to me to do that. And I would rather, go through the additional hardships of having to manufacture something in the US than to outsource anything anyway. So for me, I think it made sense. And I think for Zach, it made sense too.
For sure. And then securing that IP as well is going to be one of the most challenging things, especially when you start looking at sourcing from outside the United States. And not even going the China route. Even, there's some individuals who are producing things in Thailand. I know that I think it's Thailand, maybe it's the Philippines, one of the two. Which are two completely separate countries, and I know the difference between the two. But we also had no, I'm way off. It's Vietnam, is where it was. We had Rebels Raiders on several months ago, and he is producing plate carriers and backpacks, and just fabric wear that is meant for chest rigs or whatever the case may be, and he is utilizing non-US manufacturers, and I think it's Vietnam. Now I'm second guessing myself, but
I think it was Thailand. Maybe
was it Thailand?
Thailand or Vietnam, one of those.
Yeah, one of those two. And his point was, hey, look, I'm trying to keep costs down so that I can keep price down. And for a lot of people listening, cost and price are two completely different terms in the business world. Cost is going to be what the company is paying to make that product. Price is going to be what the customer is paying for it. So, I try to keep those terms differentiated when, doing things like YouTube videos or whatever the case may be. But his point is even still trying to keep his IP secure, even though it's not in, China, is still a bit of a challenge. And I think that so far, I think he's doing a pretty decent job. But from your standpoint, having it here in the United States is going to make it just that much easier. So yeah, I think this is really cool. And as I'm sitting here looking at some of the shenanigans that I have
sorry, if you guys aren't, since you guys are probably haven't really listened to the podcast, we are in this basement of Mark's girlfriend's house, and there's just boxes of shit everywhere, and it's all guns, accessories.
It's not like hoarder. It's not ammo. Hoarder. It's not hoarder bad.
It's borderline hoarder bad.
It is not.
There's so many boxes.
It is not.
Anyways, continue with what you're gonna say.
Okay. Do you want?
No,
you
want
to go to SHOT Show for free? Anyway, so as I'm looking around, we've got Mantis stuff here. Mantis is a really great dry firing tool. We've got Drill Index. We just had them on the show here recently. They've got a card deck that has all of these different drills that you can work on. And now we're talking to you guys that have these really cool targets, and being able to pull all of those together for someone to utilize, one, two, or even all three of these products, I think is really super cool.
Especially in this economy.
I know, right? So let me ask you guys this, and I know that this is going to be a little bit nebulous, because I know that off air we kind of talked about trying to balance things a little bit here, but you had your pre-sale, right? Which happened on the 27th. You guys sold out, which is great. Where do you go from here? I think that's kind of the biggest question. What's in your mind as, okay, we've got this, we did this, this is awesome, people liked it. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, so I think our next step is basically taking a little bit of time to prepare orders, get our pre-sale stuff like good to go. Then our next thing is the official launch, which is going to be really, really exciting. So we'll be announcing the official launch here soon. I'll tell you, it will be in November, hopefully early November. And then because what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that if people do want the targets for Christmas presents, or like they want them, for holidays and stuff like that, like they're able to get them before that time.
Yeah.
So ideally, we're going to try to launch in November, and of course, it's not going to be everything we're going to possibly make. We're going to be releasing things as it comes, because I think it would be wise to spread it out over time, but give people as much as they possibly need to get started with. So like the first thing we launched was our starter packs, because to us it made sense to get people established with the system, give them some bases, some accessories for their regular third and sixth skill targets, and a couple other like small items, so that they at least have something to get started with. And then at the full launch, we'll start to release more individual items. It just didn't make sense for us to initially, like for the pre-sale, just sell a couple targets, because you can't really do much with a couple targets. You have to have the whole
Right.
system, or at least most of the system, to get the full value out of it for the most part. So next up is launch and preparing for the Christmas rush, which we're hoping we're going to have. So at least on my end, I'm kind of more of the marketing side of it. So for me, it's been a lot of batching content and like preparing what videos we want to do, and just kind of preparing on the marketing side what I want the email blast to look like and whatnot, and like goals and metrics for social media and whatnot. And then Zach is on kind of the other side, where he's like, all right, what machine do we need to upgrade? How soon do I want to start making X, Y, and Z? So it's a lot of preparation behind the scenes. And it's funny because people, and we're blessed for it, I'm not complaining at all, but people have been beating down our DMs trying to get these things, which is a total blessing. We're just like trying our best to do it in a timely manner while still maintaining all of our quality control. So it's like we're trying to get them out. We promise. We're not just holding out on everybody, but I think that's a pretty good problem to have. And Zach, I don't know if you want to speak on the manufacturing side real quick, but
Oh yeah, I mean, just getting the manufacturing like up and running has been, I'm not going to say a challenge, but it's been, I guess it is a challenge, but it's a welcome challenge, I guess. I guess it's more of a puzzle is the best way to describe it, is what to produce and when to produce it. Because like in our starter bundle, we have 30 individual pieces. Well, yeah, 30. So,
30.
Jeez, that's a lot of pieces.
yeah.
It is Legos.
Yeah, right. Adult. Yeah, exactly.
And so basically each piece takes roughly 2 hours total to make. So yeah, it's just trying to figure out our current manufacturing output and figuring out the timing on, okay, this is when we're going to have all the products made for fulfilling our pre-order launch. Because yeah, it's just a matter of, we want to get orders in for Christmas, but we also don't want to neglect like our own individual manufacturing capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've already had to almost triple our capabilities in manufacturing just from this pre-order because, I mean, Maddie and I, we both weren't really expecting it to like sell out this quick. We thought, yeah, like it would eventually sell out, but like maybe in like 3 or 4 days, but not 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I had
that's
to
been,
rebatch my content.
I'm gonna to I work night shifts and you guys I think released at 10 Eastern.
Yeah.
I was like, I get up at noon. There should be plenty, like, a set left. And so I go to sleep. My alarm goes off at noon. I roll out of bed, make a cup of coffee, open my phone. I'm like, well, 45 minutes, I guess. So
I felt so bad. I was like, I'm so sorry.
no, it's again, it's one of those. It must be like it's first of all we know you guys are incredible, so we're very honored for you to come on the show and talk with us. But it's also it's just like it's awesome to see you guys are having that much success like right off the bat.
Yes.
Especially in a this is one of my little tirades is everyone focuses so much on all like the cool niche stuff, like I need to have all sorts of guns and gears for all these different X, Y, and Z scenarios. And like, well, my brother in Christ, you haven't touched or shot any of these in like 6 months.
Right.
Maybe go buy some ammo, maybe go buy some sort of training system at home so you can spend more time,
I feel personally attacked.
training on your stuff rather than just sitting behind a keyboard saying, actually, the CC-75 was the superior 9mm handgun at the time. So
yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's definitely true for sure.
So let me back up just real quick to what Zach was saying. Zach, when discussing your manufacturing process, I heard you said that it took 2 hours. Was that per piece or is that per set?
per set, it's about 18 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All 30 pieces takes about 18 hours?
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
Zach, you can do multiple at a time though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you start averaging it out, it's about 7 to 8 hours per set.
Okay.
But if it's just like one machine running, like an individual set, it's going to be about 18 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just kind of tricky because like you kind of have to be there like every hour to 2 hours to get the piece off and start the new piece. But still, it's a very fun challenge to do. So
Yeah, it sounds like it's a balancing act.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Zach, we're gonna pivot to you for a little bit because we got a lot of Maddie's story. So how did you get into the manufacturing side of all this? Is this something that you do for like for your real life job, or you've done manufacturing for most of your life and engineering stuff, and you just happen to, be into shooting? Tell us the villain story.
It's kind of strange, but I guess once I tell it, it will make sense. So graduated high school, then went into college to study architecture. Only did 2 years just because the 4-year colleges didn't really cover the software that I wanted to do. And then I ended up joining a engineering firm that was more industrial engineering, like large process plants. Imagine like the type of plants that will make those renewable like takeout trays that you get at like Chipotle or like the fiber trays.
Right.
Gotta love Chipotle.
So like basically
Cute up.
worked at that job for
Un-American.
almost 6 years.
Mhm.
Just doing more of like the design work, not necessarily like the engineering work. And so like I said, worked at that job for almost 6 years. Got laid off just I guess because of a new CEO came in and didn't fully understand the importance of what I did or what a lot of the other people at the company did. I don't fully know why I was laid off, but I guess I am glad I got laid off because it gave me all the time I needed to fully dive into MTS and
Mhm.
dedicate it like every waking moment into making it an actual product. So that's kind of how I know the large scale manufacturing side. But as for the, I guess right now, the smaller scale, I just always kind of loved making my own things.
Mhm.
I can make my own ammo, I make my own firearms. And so just being able to do that kind of got me into thinking, oh, what if I just started up my own manufacturing company and started making products for people or testing products with people, figuring out like what their weak points are or how to improve the product. And so that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 8 months or so. So
And you're liking it so far? Is it good to be your own boss?
uh, you have to be determined.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You're a braver man than I. Like
Mhm.
as someone who works not one but two conservative welfare jobs, I have nothing but the utmost respect for this for you guys that are, you know, braving the unknown and starting your own companies, and especially for helping all us mediocre to less than mediocre shooters.
It's like
Well,
I think about, you know, trying to figure out a way to do YouTube full time. And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't know if I want to do YouTube full time. I would be my own worst enemy, you know. I you know,
I think that's your worst enemy
oh,
right there.
shut up.
So I got a laser pointer and I was pointing at his gut for those who can't see us.
Oh goodness. Hey, look, dude, I'm down 10 pounds, dude. I don't want to hear
It
it.
doesn't look like.
I know. I knew it. I
Yeah.
knew it. That's what he was going to say. But seriously, when it comes to like the YouTube thing and trying to keep deadlines and keep things in order and stuff like that, just staying, dare I say, organized. Man, no, I don't know if I could do it. I like the structure of having to get up and go into an office and sit down and work for the 3-ish hours a day that I actually have to work. The rest of the time I'm just like waiting for emails to come in. But I digress. To hear you guys kind of strapping down and coming up with a vision is really super cool and really inspiring as well.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's definitely one of those things that it's scary, especially if you're used to structure. Like having had a very large portion of my life very structured between, education, military, things like that. It took me, and I'm still in the process of adjusting to being my own structure, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I think you can kind of fall in one of two categories as an entrepreneur that's getting used to, being their own boss. And it's either people that think that being an entrepreneur means that you get to set your own hours and life is great because you only have to work a couple hours a day because nobody's telling you to work longer than that. And there's the other side of it who, the entrepreneur that's working 24/7 and all they can think about is their business and that's their entire life. And for a very long time, actually, until probably about 6 months ago, I was the second. And the work, I don't necessarily believe in work-life balance per se as an entrepreneur. I don't think it's possible. However, you do have to learn how to establish a baseline and hold yourself accountable to having that structure. Otherwise, it's very, very easy to fall into one of those two categories where it's just like your entire your entire life is either work or it's like chill. And it's like, so you got to find kind of that ground of, okay, this is how we keep ourselves like in structure without going nuts with it. And that's definitely a challenge, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna swap. This is gonna move forward a little bit. So talk to us a little about Red Letter and where that came from. Actually, we're gonna take a full step back. I usually ask this question, and we're how far are we in? 45 minutes?
Yeah, 42 minutes.
40 minutes, 2 minutes in. Okay. So this is a question for both of y'all. If you want to go back and forth, what is the villain arc on how you guys got into shooting, competitive shooting, guns, whatever, the gun culture? How did you get into this weird lifestyle that we all have found ourselves at this weird crossroads today?
Oh, I know it's a long story for me, but I'll try to sum it up real quick. So long story short, it wasn't the original game plan. I was living in England at the time of COVID, and I was finishing up, I was getting my master's over there, and I was supposed to live over there for quite some time, and then COVID broke out. So I ended up having to come to the US a little bit sooner than I thought. And while I was waiting for COVID to blow over to go back, I ended up doing like a little side hustle thing where I started teaching intro classes and things like that. And I ended up really enjoying teaching, and I really, really enjoyed owning a business. And so COVID, we all kind of know, never really blew over. So eventually that idea of going back to England and, doing all these things didn't really happen, and I just continued doing the business stuff. And I realized how much I enjoy being an entrepreneur, and I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can make this a long-term career plan. And the firearms industry just happened to be the place that I started, if that makes sense. With Red Letter, we have a very heavy emphasis on Christian mission work, specifically in the area of domestic violence and abuse prevention. So there was a lot of purpose there for me. Like, I think I found like a platform. I found a job that gave me a lot of purpose, and I didn't really see a reason to leave. And then over the years, it just kind of spiraled into realizing that I enjoy being a creative person that likes inventing things and likes like building things and whatnot. So it kind of just seemed like a perfect fit for me. I don't know if I'm going to be in the firearms industry forever, but like right now I'm pretty happy with, this kind of vehicle for the creativity. And like I said, me and Zach met through Red Letter, which I'm really, really blessed that happened. At what, Zach, like 3 years ago or something like that?
I think it's getting closer to 4, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't, Zach, how did you get in the industry?
Um, for me, I've just always been really interested into like very long distance shooting. Like even as a kid, but just never really grew up with firearms and actually like shooting them. So like once I became like at the age to actually be able to buy my own firearms, um, I just ended up like buying like some of like my own personal holy grails.
Yeah.
Which basically one of them is kind of the reason why Maddie and I met, which was a Barrett M107
Good holy
and
grail to have.
yeah, so basically the facility that um we met at was the only facility in like basically all of South Carolina that would allow me to shoot my 50 cal. Um, so I just went there and started shooting, and it was a great facility. Like a really nice long range. Um, and I just happened to be there one of the days that Maddie was starting to set up for the very first RLP retreat. Um, we had a mutual friend, Matthew Dolan, who basically introduced us and said, like, you two would get along nicely. Um, and so I basically told her, like, hey, if you need any help with setting up, just let me know. And she was like, in typical Maddie fashion, no, I got it myself. So I'll let you know. Um, and she ended up walking off, like, basically carrying, like, way too much to carry. Like, I think she was carrying probably 100 cardboard targets by
Oh,
herself.
for real.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah, it just was like she's one heck of a woman, and I definitely got the feeling that we were going to be great friends from that moment. So just stayed in touch, and then ended up helping out with RLP with a few of the retreats, and then a lot of the stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Which I think Maddie could probably go into more.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I'll vouch for Zach real quick and throw him some like well deserved a little shout out because he has basically helped me keep that thing above water through deployments, through just life circumstances, through car wrecks. Like he's kind of been the person that when things go wrong, he's like, all right. We're fine. I can help. We can help. Like this will get fixed. He's also very good at like he's like the perfectionist and I'm like the opposite, so it's like it's a good balance. He also helped me stand up. We have this thing at Red Letters called the Reason for Hope Scholarship, and it's basically for domestic violence abuse survivors. And what we do is we make sure that they have the funds to come to our events and learn and train and work through their situation, work through the trauma and everything. And he was the one that helped me stand that up and fundraise for it and make sure that everything was coordinated and stuff because I don't know if we mentioned, but with Red Letter, we do these big events a couple times a year, or we used to do a couple times a year. Now we do them once a year. But we bring out 30, 40 women and do a whole training weekend and everything. And that's a lot to coordinate. It's a lot of responsibility, a lot of pressure. So he kind of helped relieve a lot of that pressure on the back end. And I was always really thankful for that.
Yeah,
That's
so it
really
sounds
cool.
like Red Letter. It's. I apologize for the overture like gloating of how wonderful you guys like are, like how good human beings you guys are. It's awesome to see in this industry. You run into a lot of like instructors or instruction organizations that they show up to your place, they ask $20,000 for like a weekend to teach you guys like pistol one, and then they disappear and that's all you hear from them. It's awesome to hear like this Red Letter organization doing more than just instructing like pistol one and carbine one classes. It seems like it actually is trying to not only build community, but bring more people in the fold and actually better prepare people for what majority of us carry firearms for. So that's like the work you guys are doing are outstanding. I don't know if you hear it enough. You probably don't. So
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, we really try to put purpose behind it. I think I mentioned it before, but we try to be a mission first company. So, we do domestic violence work in Atlanta. We do it in we've done it overseas before. That's really the core purpose is using the platform because, through Red Letter, I've gained a decent social media. It's not huge, but it's enough for me to get the word out.
mm-hmm.
And using that platform for me I needed a place to talk about the gospel and to share the story of that. That's really why the company was started. Shooting just happened to be the avenue to be able to do it with. It was a good connector for people. It's a good kind of a middle ground for fellowship, and it's also something we both believe in. Like we both definitely believe that God values human life enough to want to protect it. So that's part of the reason we do what we do. And just to make it clear, though, I do want to say that Red Letter is not it's not a nonprofit. It is how I pay
Yep.
my bills.
Yep.
But we do try to really incorporate that missions aspect, and that's one of the reasons we stood up that scholarship, is to make sure that cost wasn't an issue for people who wanted to train, and making sure that we have the support around, like the community support around it, so that students don't feel like once they finished a class or a weekend they're just on their own. It's like, no, we have a little family here if you want to be a part of it. And that's something we've tried to separate, and we're honestly trying to start do the same thing with the target systems. Fully believe that a business doesn't have to be just a product. It can be a community, it can be education, it can be all sorts of different things. And there's going to be a lot of purpose behind the targets as well. It might just look a little bit different because it's a physical product as opposed to a service. But there would definitely be aspects of what we believe in through, you'll see throughout the product line and throughout the way we do business is hopefully going to reflect that. That's my vision for it, at least.
Cool. And I think you mentioned it there, but I'm just gonna like triple check. So Red Letter's based out of Georgia. It's not like one of those traveling. Do you guys send instructors out to host classes as well, or is it one of those? Unfortunately, you have to come to Georgia for the pleasure.
So we used to travel a lot more than we do now. Our events kind of bounce around the southeast. My regular day-to-day training, though, is based out of North Georgia. We do remote training too, though. So like I train with students all over the country. We have our own little system and everything, but majority of the training is North Georgia now. But our events are kind of all over. A lot of people will travel all over the country to go to those events. We've had girls from Hawaii, Alaska, Washington State. Gosh, we've had them from all over the place. So we don't want that to be a determining factor either, because it's definitely worth traveling to if somebody wants to come out for it.
And then I got to ask, what's the symbology behind the red letter?
So Red Letter, I love explaining this. It's if you open up a traditional Bible, all the words that Jesus spoke are written in red letters usually. So we wanted, when I started the company, I wanted it to be purposeful, but not in your face purposeful. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things where you read it. Some people pick up on it, some people don't. And it's really cool when people ask me and I get to explain that little story, because it's just, it reminds me why we're doing the whole thing. And it's a constant reminder of, our logo is this little triangle cross thing. And it's just a constant reminder of like, hey, this isn't about you. It's not about the business. It's about, the higher purpose you're serving.
For sure. It's good.
So we're going to hit it to third gear. I apologize. And I this is one that's been like on my mind, living rent free for a little bit. Milsom West.
Oh boy.
I know
total pivot.
Total pivot. I apologize. Talk to us about your experience real fast.
I love talking about Milsom West. I hope my Milsom West friends hear this podcast.
Well, first and foremost, explain what it is first for those that don't know.
Okay. I'm going to give you a very, I think, unique perspective on Milsom West, because I don't look like anybody there. So anybody listening, just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I'm probably going to butcher the explanation.
Okay.
Milsom West is an airsoft event, but it's like gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a simulation of like a little like infantry type battle. I don't know how to describe it. It's going to sound super nerdy, but it's actually very, very useful for training. All the cadre on Milsom West are very experienced, like prior military guys, prior, Rangers, like really, really good at what they do. Really good attitude. And basically what you do is you take a bunch of gear. It's a 40-hour event, so you're sleeping out in the woods. You're doing everything for that amount of time. Basically, they split you up into two teams, and then you kind of like war on each other throughout the weekend. And it's so much fun. It sounds like super nerdy and whatnot, and it kind of is, but at the same time, there's a lot to learn from it. So you go out to these events, and the reason I started going to the Milsom events actually was because at the time, a couple years ago, I was doing a lot of overseas mission work. And a lot of times when you're in countries like that you're far away from the embassy, you're on your own, you're doing these things in these more remote areas. I started realizing that I really lacked a lot of training in the survival skills aspect of it. So I started asking around and somehow got connected with Milsim West, and the guys were like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, come out! Like we'd be happy to make sure that you were accommodated for and everything." And I say that because Milsim West is like 99% dudes, so I kind of got to be aware of those things going into it. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've never been, at least up to this point, I've been to 3 Milsim West. I've never felt uncomfortable. I've never felt like I was singled out for any reason. They've always been super respectful of me, and they've always made sure that I was taken care of and that I was like I was just being treated the way anybody else would want to be treated. And I think that's very special at an event like that because it is so male dominated. But I've gone out to them, like I said, 3 times. Every single time I've learned something different. A lot of the times they're teaching me stuff about, oh, this is how, I don't know, you carry a ruck properly. This is how like you put a kit together, and like things that I wouldn't personally know or have any access to. It gives you a lot of perspective on that and good experience, to be honest with you. But that's my perspective on Milsom West, I guess.
Right on. Yep. Whereabouts is Milsom West?
They have events all over the country. I've only been to I've been to one in Tennessee, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. So their venues change, and you have to go to a bunch of different venues because each venue is completely different. But these events are massive. Like I think they have one going in Savannah in the next couple weeks, and it's gonna be like 800 people or something crazy like
Wow.
that. Like it's
Crazy.
stupid crazy. It's really cool. I would highly recommend it.
So my ignorance of this was, I thought it was always on the West Coast.
Yeah, Milsom West is a misnomer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, Milsom West designates that it's on the Western Hemisphere because there's Milsom East, and that's
Oh,
in Europe, if I remember
see.
correctly.
I see.
Oh, yeah, that might be it. I don't know. Probably.
So this is my nerd arc. I've been airsofting since like 2005, back when it was like we I was in high school at the time, and my me and the boys were in JRTC, thinking we were the hottest shit going to we live over by Kansas City, Kansas. And there was usually once a month they would have these events where it's kind of like it's like a very pared down Milsim. It's about maybe 50 to 100 people would show up, and we would do events like that where it's we had about 40-50 acres, a couple trucks, and do these like maybe 2 or 3 force on force scenarios. It's nothing like Milsom West. It's a very pared down thing, so it's great to see, like, here we are 20 years later and people are still doing it, and it's got to the point where it's not only that it's popular, it's that it's bringing people into the more like sustainment side of the ownership of firearms. Because I think Seaburn Art, you guys know, have you listened to Nate?
Yeah.
They back in the day used to talk about gun culture 3.0, and I think we're like a 3.5, 4 now, where it's everyone got guns, everyone watched Nothing Fancy, everyone did all the training, everyone has like some basics of like squad level stuff. And now we're looking at how, like, people are really interested in, how do I take everything I've learned from watching Nothing Fancy at 3:00 in the morning to now I have a ruck, I have kit, I have 30-40 guys with me, and we're all going to do this one thing in a very succinct and efficient and safe manner, as safe as it can be, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's interesting too, because like the first time I went to, so I've been to other airsoft events, like I've been to some of the smaller ones, and they were fun and everything. I just didn't get the same, I don't think I got the same level of experience at those. But the first time I went to a Milsom West, I don't remember where, I think it was Arena. It was down South Georgia. It's really, really big facility, so a lot of walking, a lot of rucking. And I remember it was crazy. It was the first time I ever seen this happen, where it was like you started off the game with however many, like 300 people. I'm just gonna throw a number out there, like 300 people, and within the first night, like half of those people had dropped out from the ruck itself. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm 115 pounds and I'm not, like, what? Like, what are you guys doing? And but anyway, it was just interesting because I realized how easy it was to test your gear and test your physical stamina and your skills like out in an
Yeah.
environment like that, because you can test gear on the range all day long, and that's like, I think that's beneficial, obviously. But like, I think if you're geared towards like the sustainment gear and more stuff like that, which I wasn't, I had to learn a lot about. I still don't know a lot about it. It's like not my wheelhouse, but that's the place to go do it, like 100%. Like that is the place that you're gonna go do it. You're gonna figure out really quickly that things aren't working or you need a different type of gear. You have some experts there that really know their stuff. Like Nick Ryan, Blue Jean operator, he's great.
Mhm.
Justin
Mhm.
DeRoe, Sean, Kenny, they're all just phenomenal. They're just there to help, and it's really good.
Yeah.
And troll on people.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's so fun. Okay, that's another part I have to mention. Like, besides just like the what's good about it, it is one of the most. If you haven't been in the military environment, it's good exposure. It's so funny. Everything that happens in Milsom West, for some reason, is funny. I think it's because you're all tired and delusional, and like, I don't know. It's usually late nights or whatever, but it's a very fun time. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So I guess the next question I got, what I guess blasters do you carry? What companies do you pick, and
The
what have you done?
L44.
You talking about for airsoft?
Yeah, for airsoft, not for real life.
Dude, I don't even know. Half the time they just hand me a gun and I'm like, okay.
Oh, you don't even have your own stuff?
I do. I just don't know what it is. I don't like. Okay, I go to Milsom for like.
I feel like this is the perfect time to insert that from Tropic Thunder. I don't know what it's called. I just know the sound it makes. When it takes
Yeah.
your hand flying.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I know. Sometimes they'll hand me one of those little BB grenades, and I'm like, heck yeah. Like, that's all I know. And but I have my own gear. I'm not into the airsoft side as much as most people are. Like, I go to
Right.
Milsom for like the rucking, the good company, and for the being outside and whatever. But the airsoft itself, that's kind of where my brain starts to go into I'm just a girl mode. I'm just like I care about this only to a certain extent.
Yeah, I got you.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so would you feel again, my ignorance here, but would you feel more comfortable if you were inserted into one of the Milsim West exercises, as say like a medic or something to that scenario?
You mean like skill wise?
Yeah, it's something that's not necessarily
Everyone's an infantry guy there. There's no.
there's not going to be anything else.
There's like soft. So, and this is let me. I'm going to again. I'm speaking from when I was really big into airsoft. 8-10 years ago. My understanding it's everyone's a grunt. There's some like soft elements. There's some role player elements. There's some I don't say terrorist organizations, but there's some like the underground guys. But everybody else is just everyone is Joe Grunt and carry a gun and go move it to contact until everything goes
So
according to plan.
essentially, it's like either a company or a battalion level sticks lanes.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It's kind of like going to NTC,
Yeah.
and at maybe a battalion size level.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Cool. We solved it. We figured it all
We
out.
figured it out.
I was like, I'm not sure how to answer this question because I don't know. I just show up and I walk around the woods with my friends.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
We
That's
could
really
rat shit with
it.
my friends in the woods.
But
Yeah, that's
I'm
pretty
still,
much it.
I'm still like puzzled. I know that you were using just kind of whole numbers, but you were saying that like half of the people that showed up fell out of the ruck. How far was the ruck, approximately?
I don't even remember. I mean, like I also
Was
like
it
I
like
said,
unknown distance or?
it was unknown distance for me
Okay.
just because I was oblivious and unaware.
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
walked until they said let's camp here or whatever. But I mean I didn't seem that long. I mean, I'm sure it was if you're not used to walking a long distance. But I think the point I'm kind of trying to make is like the weather alone, if it's a little bit rainy or cold, it
Mhm.
can make the environment a lot harsher than I think a lot of people are used to. And if you're not exposed to that regularly, I can see how it would be really, really difficult and
Yep.
easy just to be like, all right, you know what, this isn't fun anymore. I'm going to go home. But I think one of the draws to Milsom West is that since it is a little bit more difficult and you are forced to well, you're not obviously not forced, but like the idea of it is to stay out for the entire 40 hours and like get through the event, even though it's all obviously going to suck to some degree. I think a lot of the pull to Milsom West is it's like a challenge, and it should feel like an accomplishment when you finish it. And that's the cool part about it. So it's like, it's to me, I go to things like that and I'm like, no, I want to finish. I want to finish the event because, you know, that's why I came here. I didn't come here to drop out the first night. Obviously it's different if you have like a medical emergency, but I'm just saying, like, when it gets hard, I think that's the cool part about it, is you just learn how to work through it in that environment.
For sure.
Do you do any prep work or anything like that, or you just proverbially raw dog it?
I literally just show up, man.
Nice.
No, and the reason I asked that, and I remember there is a very similar to any other kind of group that you go to, especially when it's a lot of internet based stuff. There's a lot of people that will love to have the romanticized idea of, hey, I go to the woods for 40 hours, you know, sling around my very expensive ruck that spent a lot of time and effort researching on, and then you get out there and, you know, you're just getting fucking clapped by some dude in like a flannel shirt, you know, and a Alice pack from the 60s and having the best time of his life. And then it makes you question
just describe
everything.
Nick.
That's
Yeah.
wow. It's like but no, it's one of those like, oh, maybe, you know, everything. I think a lot of people question their like lives afterwards, because like maybe spending all this time, effort, and money was not the play. Maybe it was, you know, go put a fucking JanSport on with 10 pounds and go walk a little bit and see what's going on.
Yeah, I see your point is. So there
Yeah.
definitely is an element to that. I think first of all, let me just say I should train before I go to these events. They would definitely make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I've always been in some sort of competitive sport ever since I was a kid. So I think that like the athleticism, I'm not saying I'm super athletic, but I'm saying like there's a baseline there where I'm kind of used to you know, running longer distances. I'm used to lifting weights every day. Like, so that level of fitness to some degree has to be there. Otherwise, it is going to be very, very challenging for you to get past that. And,
Yeah.
you know, you can run all the crazy, nice, fancy gear in the world, but if you can't ruck up the hill they're trying to get you past, like, it doesn't really do much good. So I think there's a lot of benefit if you are somebody that you think is going to struggle with the ruck or the walking or, you know, just being outside. It would be worth it to spend some time preparing so that when you get there, it's worth your time, if that makes sense.
No, I couldn't agree more, because I remember this is like the Hail Mary thing. There's a guy who used to run it was the KC Airsoft Association, KCAA. His name was Swayze. I don't know his real name because he kind of was a weird dude.
Swayze
was his name, and he was one of those guys that you know, fantastic dude. You know, he was great at organizing the event, but, you know, generally being a heavier set guy, not prepped. You know, he was one of those guys that would play for an hour or two and go sit for, you know, 6 or 7 hours and then come back for a little bit. So it's definitely it's a lot harder than people think. And it's
especially unprepared.
So, and you know, sustain it for 40 hours is never fun.
Nope.
By yourself.
Nope.
Yeah, and also too, like, I think at least the first time I went, actually every single time I go, I realize I don't pack things that I need or that I needed. And I did pack way too much of so I've kind of like over the 3 events been able to slowly start to refine my kit, but it's just kind of cool seeing the cadre there, that they do it so often that it's like, they have it down. And I usually try to send like a picture or two of what I'm packing to one or two of them beforehand and just get their opinion on it. But I've realized that I can pretty much survive on minimal snacks and just a lot of warm clothes. That's like 90% of my ruck has been warm clothes. And that's probably not good, but at least gets me through Milsim. So it's kind of one of those things where you do have to be aware when you are packing that. I try not to game it so much to where it's like I'm only packing for Milsim. I try to envision at least a little bit what I would be packing if it wasn't just a 40-hour event, if it was like a 2-week thing, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's just good exposure if you've never gotten into that world, and there's a reason I think everybody needs to have those skills at some baseline, but especially if there's a reason that you need to learn those skills, it's a good place to experience it all.
And it's a lot cheaper than Darcy. That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's fun. Like, man, like I said, the crew there is just it's a good time. They do a really good job too of kind of putting a story behind it. Like they kind of put like a fun story and give you missions and like things like that. So it makes it interesting. And honestly, like I said, it's really funny watching these guys too. They'll like snap into, okay, now we're working mode, and then it's like after a little like mini battle of airsoft or nerd stuff, it's like, okay, now let's like goof around. It's just like it's like a interesting it's an interesting environment. It's really fun. It's something special. I would highly recommend it if you can go.
Yeah, that's definitely on my list to accomplish. I will say that for those who have never experienced anything like this, if you've never been a part of the military and you're definitely interested in doing this, or you're like on the edge and you're just trying to figure out the
Message
gear
Mark
that,
and ask questions.
yeah, get all the gear together. The number one piece of gear that you need is going to be as many socks as you can possibly take with you, especially if it's going to be like what do they call them? The tough socks? Is it
Darn
tough?
toughs.
What are they?
Darn toughs.
Darn toughs, yeah, yeah. Especially the high wicking, quick
Wool
drying
socks.
Yeah.
Good
Mhm.
quality wool socks.
Oh yeah. Those are the best. And then make sure that everything is packed in Ziploc bags.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, Ziploc bags are your absolutely friend. I can tell you from experience, because one of the first field problems that I went out on in this would have been springtime of 2001. I looked at the weather. This is on the days that I was on tanks. I looked at the weather. Weather said that it was going to be clear all week. We're going out in sticks lanes. I was playing Op 4, which is opposition force for those that you don't know. Packed everything. We're only going to be out for a few days, so I didn't bother packing a duffel bag. It was just my ruck. And I was like, it's not going to rain, so I'm not going to stuff everything in Ziploc bags or my wet weather bag. And about 18 hours into the field problem, freaking just the skies opened up and torrential downpour, and all of my uniforms, underwear, shirts, socks, everything was drenched. Luckily for me, I was able to dry off a couple of pieces by the exhaust of the tank, because that's a blow dryer essentially. And I was able to limp my way through it, but never again after that. That was one of the best lessons that I taught myself. I don't care. I went to, shortly after that, I went to NTC, which is the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, Texas,
Texas,
California, Fort Irwin,
Yeah.
California.
Fact checked, false.
False.
Fake news.
So in the Mojave Desert, still packed everything in Ziploc bags, namely to keep all the dust out. Rainstorm out there, and my stuff's going to get wet. So yeah. So if you don't have access to wet weather bags, Ziploc bags, or even trash bags, unscented are the best.
I can see why. That makes sense. Yeah, that sounds like a good piece of advice there. I will try to do that next time because I don't think I've done that up to this point. I don't. Like I said, I'm a baby when it comes to learning about the sustainment stuff. I'm just trying to get like a basic understanding. I think Zach, you're kind of into the sustainment stuff too, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. hmm
Like what kind of stuff do you do for sustainment, Zach? Like what's the hobby de choice or hobby de jour for you for testing all that stuff out?
For me, it's more being able to make whatever I need.
Yeah.
Stuff like ammunition or like knowing all the tips and tricks of like things you need for like fires or like certain foods, knowing like what to grow in which season, um, like if I'm out in the wild, but also like your regular herbology or whatever, like knowing what's poisonous, what's not. I guess I'm more knowledge based than actual physical based. That's just kind of who I am.
Sure.
So yeah, if there's like anything that can be learned, I'm probably doing my best to learn it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of some of the topics that we talked about with Polite but Dangerous. One of his big thing was basically understanding what are the different types of things around him growing that he can harvest just as a gatherer. What are some of the different things that he can eat? What are some of the things that have medicinal properties and stuff like that, which I thought was very intriguing. Knowing me, I pick the worst thing to eat.
Same. I'd be like, oh,
Red
look, a
berries, those
blueberry.
look yummy.
Right.
No, we do. Actually, after buying that, after that podcast, we went out and bought a couple of books. There's one that he recommended. It's the Lost Art of Herbal something. We went out and got that, and we've been making dandelion wine and aspirin with dandelions at home now.
Oh wow, that's kind of cool.
So Zach, I think you touched on this before, but I'm going to go back one time. So do you do outside of the firearms and shooting? Do you do anything like for sustainment or like train? Like, do you go hiking? Are you a hunter? Are you kind of would consider yourself a prepper? What if you had to put yourself in a very niche box that I'm going to give you? Which one do you think you like? Which one do you claim to be a part of?
I wouldn't really call myself a prepper.
Yeah.
That's more my father, I guess. But I'd probably put myself into the hunter category.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just I don't get to go hunting often, but it's always fun when I do, and just even if you don't get anything, it's just nice to get out and just sit outdoors and relax for a bit. So yeah.
Do you guys have I know you guys are in northern Georgia, so it's beautiful country out there. I have family on Savannah. Do you guys get out there often to get into on the trails or out in the mountains?
I know. Well, Zach's up in South Carolina. I'm in North Georgia.
Oh.
We're pretty close,
Yes,
but yeah, North Georgia, we have quite a bit of mountains here, and yeah, I usually try to get out there as much as I can. I travel a whole lot though, just for various things I got going on. So I've been out west a lot lately. Like this year, I think I've spent more time out west than I have at home. And
sorry to hear that.
well, it's yes, until you get out in the mountains and you're like, all right, it's pretty cool out here. So I love going out to like Idaho mountains or Arizona desert, like those different terrains that we don't have here in North Georgia. So I like hiking there.
Yeah.
I don't know South Carolina wise if there's any good mountains in that area, but I did a couple years ago. I'm not a hunter or anything, but I did kill a single bear in Montana a couple years ago.
On purpose or accident?
Oh, it was on purpose. Oh, can I tell my bear story?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I like the bear. Okay, so I have a friend. Her name's Miranda.
Barely contain our excitement.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I love the bear story. So I have a good friend out in Montana. She's a guide, and her and I went on a girls' trip to go get a bear. And this was
does.
What's that?
As one usually does.
Yeah, as us girls do. Yeah, and anyway, it's my first ever hunt, and I'm a big animal person, so this was probably a horrible idea. But she was like, "Oh, well, we can get a black bear," and I was like, "Oh, perfect. I'll do that, whatever." So I got out to Montana, and we literally rock around these giant mountains for like 6 days straight. I forget how many days, but it was a long time, and it was like completely miserable. It was good, kind of miserable though. It was just a lot of hiking, and we searched and searched and searched for this bear. Did not find one. And then like the very, very last day before I was supposed to fly home, we were sitting there on the top of some mountain, and she ended up spotting one. And it was I didn't realize, like, hunting wise, I guess I was expecting it to be a lot bigger and more obvious, but it looked like a tiny little black speck in our binoculars. So it just surprised me. I was like, "Oh, I was looking for something bigger than what it was. Maybe I missed all the bears that are here." So we looked for 6 days and there's nothing here. Um, but anyway, we got it, and it was super cool because this is my like I said, my first hunt, and we spot this bear at the very bottom. I think it was like 400 yards at the bottom of like the bottom of the mountain. We're on the top of the mountain. So like I set up my little like rifle and the getting my position and everything, and she's sitting there with the binos, and my feet are like above my head kind of thing, like aiming down at this bear. And I sat there and I watched him in my scope for a good probably 5 or 6 minutes, just it was really sad actually. It was playing and it was like having a good time and everything, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to kill this bear, but like we've been hiking for six days.
You're
um
me now.
yeah, exactly. So I was just sitting there I wanted to get a perfect shot because the biggest fear of mine was having it suffer. So I just sat there and watched it for like 6 or 7 minutes, and then one shot killed it instantly. Was like super thankful for that. We ran out. We had to hike all the way down the mountain. And dude, when I tell you guys, when I saw this bear, I have a Rottweiler, like my boy Peter. He's my son. He's the only child I have, and I didn't realize how much the bear was gonna look like him when I got down there. So I sat there, I cried for like 30 minutes and sat there and held its paw, like just cried and cried and cried, and then it got dark, so we had to like pack it up and leave. But it took us because it was me and her. I weighed like 115 pounds. She was a little taller than I am, but we had to hike this couple 100 pounds worth of meat out of this like basically mountain system that we had gotten ourselves into, and I will never forget how difficult that hike was. By far the physically most difficult thing I've ever done in my entire life. Like I have so much respect for hunters now because I just didn't realize how much went into it. Just being like naive to it, I guess, but it was super cool.
It's kind of like I think they call it type 3 fun.
Yeah. It's like one of those where you're like, I'm not gonna complain because I want to be here, but like this really, really sucks. And it was cool too because it had one of those the ear tag from where it had been. So I think the story behind it, because we called DNR. Basically, what had happened is when it was a cub, it had gotten orphaned or something like that. So they relocated it. They put an ear tag in it, which is apparently a really rare thing for you to find out in the middle of Montana. So
Yeah.
we get this bear, and I was like, oh my gosh, it has an ear tag on it. And so they had to go run the tags and make sure it was still safe to eat and everything, and it ended up being safe to eat. But it was just kind of unique because when I got it mounted, I got a little pack mount made, and I was like, I have to keep the ear tag, make sure you put it back in there. And we like hunted down the DNR guy to get the tag back, and it was just kind of one of those neat little things.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you have the bearskin rug in front of your giant stone fireplace with an oil painting of Ty Masterson.
Well,
Time.
I do have.
I was grabbing for names on that one.
I do have it mounted near in my living room, and it took Peter like at least 2 weeks to get used to it being there because he was like angrily barking at it every time we saw it.
Oh yeah,
That's hilarious.
My dad has a buffalo head in his house, and my dog absolutely hates it. Just like avoids that section of the house completely because it just.
He's like, "Why do you look like me?"
No, why are you so massive on the wall? You're gonna eat me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But that's my singular hunting story. I will probably never do it again because that was borderline traumatizing because it was so fluffy.
Yeah,
Sounds fluffy. Yeah.
like deer are like. I feel like deer hunting doesn't have that same like emotional traumatic event because they just kind of stand there.
Don't
Yeah.
tell that to Nan.
But the bears, if it's like playing in the river and having a good time and being like super cute and cuddly, and then
Yeah, you smoke it.
I gotta ask like the nerd question. What rifle did you use?
Gosh, I don't even remember. It's been so long. I'd have to look back at pictures.
I just know the sound it makes when it takes a bear's life.
Don't even say, oh, that's horrible. No, wait, hold on. I might be able to pull it up really quick. But it was scout. It was a scout rifle. Scout arms, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Scout. That's definitely what it was. And then I shot a normal round. I don't really remember what it was either. Like I said, it's not really my game. My
It's
game is
you shot
um
a 6.5 PRC.
what?
Oh, 6.5 PRC.
Yeah,
Mhm.
6.5
Yeah,
PRC.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's what I shot. Yep.
Zach with the save.
yeah.
Zach
Uh,
knows I don't.
Good
It's been
cartridge. Yeah.
No.
Mhm.
And
it's
then
been years. Yeah, it's been a long time.
so we're kind of getting to the tail end real fast. We're hitting that 90-minute mark.
Yep.
What are we at? I
We're
can't
getting
see
close. Yep.
it. So real fast, talk about competition shooting. So are both of you big competition shooting?
I'm super big into it. I love it. It's so much fun.
For me, I haven't really done much. I was gonna do a match, but it got canceled.
Oh damn.
And yeah, just basically, I'm more really can only do like long range shooting. And then like a few rounds of like a few mags of like pistol shooting. But like I can't really do much like standing up like rifle shooting at all.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, basically my bread and butter is just long distance, like
Mhm.
1,000 yard to mile and a half distance shooting.
Jeez, mile and a half.
Mhm.
Do you I'm assuming you've talked about it, you probably build your are very meticulous with the rifle you use and the ammo you use
Yep.
for that sort of stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
If you don't mind sharing with us, like what's your favorite round that you use and what's your favorite rifle that you've built to do like do you do like the bench or do you do PRC or PRS?
I mean, I like those competitions, but I
Mhm.
haven't really competed.
Okay.
I'm more of like a, just sit down and shoot for fun type of guy and just more compete against myself than other people.
For sure.
That's actually
Um,
probably more admirable than us going out and trying to make a name for
yeah,
ourselves and on the internet. So,
like, yeah, I'm very competitive in nature.
yeah.
So if I'm not winning, then I'm just gonna really just be upset with myself. Um, and I just know I won't be able to really win because I just can't shoot that fast. Um, but right now, my go-to is either 6 dasher,
Mm-hmm.
or 8.6 blackout.
Okay.
Um, I've always been a big fan of 8.6 blackout, like even before like it really started to gain traction. Um, I'd say if you have like a very short range, like say you only have like 300 yards to work with, 8.6 blackout is a great range to caliber.
Yeah.
Um, to get that like extreme distance practice in a short distance, just because of the spin drift and like the drop. Um, it's a 300-yard shot with 8.6. It's similar to like 1,000-yard shot with like a 308.
Yeah. Let's say
Um,
that 8.6 probably has what, like 30-40 inches drop at that,
yeah, with
range.
like the subsonic 8.6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 30-40 inch drop with probably a good 12 to 16 inch spin drift.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
I mean, you are
it's a
launching a small country out of your
Yeah,
your guns.
yeah.
so yeah, that's just like one of the rounds that I tend to recommend for people who have a short range but want to have that like scratch that itch, have like a long distance shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and plus it's just a great all rounder like hunting rifle caliber. Because it can take down pretty much anything you want. Um, as for like my favorite rifle I built is probably my 6 dasher rifle, bolt action left hand,
Yeah.
32-inch barrel, with a MDT stock in it. Basically triggers like 0.4 ounce trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So like you could breathe on it and it'll go off,
Yeah.
but it's still drop safe somehow. So yeah, it's just always great seeing people's reaction to that trigger, which is kind of like one of my favorite parts of it. Yeah, just pretty fun.
And when you say make your own, are you are you actually using your like machining expertise to actually lathe the parts and like put barrels together or?
For my 6 dasher,
Mm-hmm.
I just ended up just getting a preset barrel
Okay.
with my Defiance action. Because it was like one of my very first ones that I did. For an 8.6 blackout build that I did for a friend, I ended up going to a machine shop and lathing the barrel, just because there really only aren't that many like preset barrel options out there. Much less even like barrel blanks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so just going in and machining that myself was fun to do. I currently don't have a lathe, but that's more because I don't have space for a lathe. But yeah, like once I get my own warehouse, definitely gonna be one of the first things I get. So yeah, it's pretty fun to do, but hopefully I can make a business out of it
Mm-hmm.
down the road.
So we'll start seeing method manufacturing rifles for PRS matches.
Yeah, I mean, like I probably spent, I don't know, I don't even know if I want to say how much I spent. Probably close to the 6-figure range on like custom rifles,
Yeah.
like from other companies. And to be honest, like the experience of like dealing with someone else building a custom rifle for me just hasn't been that great. And I feel like I can just do it so much better for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't really give you good updates. They don't like truly sit down with you and figure out like what you need or what you want, or what's best for what you really want to do with a rifle.
Yeah.
Because like before I really knew anything about like my own shooting style or my own body for that matter,
Mm-hmm.
of like what I can handle recoil wise, I basically was like, yeah, let's just do like a 338 Lapua. And then the guy who built my rifle, basically gave me like a skinny, like 10-pound 338 Lapua rifle, which I just could not handle that recoil impulse. And so, yeah, I just spent like $8,000 on a rifle I just can't shoot. So I just figured I can probably do that a lot better for other people and make sure that they get their money's worth for what they want and have them not make the mistake that I made several times. Um, so yeah, that's one of my up and coming companies. But that's probably sometime next year. But apart from that, it's just mainly just focused on modular target systems right now and just getting that up and running and like fully sustainable before I start my other companies. So
You
yeah.
got one rod in the fire at a time, or it gets really out of hand really quick. And I apologize, Maddie. I was going to ask a second question, but then we got on we started going and about 8.6 and launching, small Chipotle burritos out of a barrel. So what pistols? Words are hard. What pistols do you guys use mainly for your competition shooting, and why is it Glocks?
Well, that's kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no.
Thank you.
No.
God, thank you. Even though I did buy a Glock today.
You bought a Glock?
I mean, I own
You
a
don't
lot of
have one?
Glocks, but
not a V. No.
Oh.
I bought a Glock 40.
Oh no, like a 20 mil, not a 40.
Yeah, 20 mil. Yeah, it's
Or
exactly
10 mil.
what
10 mil. Yeah, I've been up for 2 days now, so I apologize. Like,
words hard.
words are hard to begin with, and I'm not so good with them. That's why I do the jobs that I do. And now I've had 2 beers and I've been up for 2 days, so words have been harder than normally. So what's the go-to pistol for your competition shooting?
So I do a lot of USPSA. That's kind of what I focus on. I've gone on a couple different platforms over the last few years. I stuck with an M&P for a really long time, and I really liked that one for a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah.
And then I started, I got not in a negative way, but somewhat peer pressured into going the Shadow direction, so Shadow 2. And I've been on that platform for maybe the last, I'd say like a year minus 6 months, because I was deployed for 6 months out of that year, so I wasn't touching it, but like, so I guess total 6 months time on it.
And you like shooting Glocks?
And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I have not liked the Shadow. I know everybody likes it, but personally
Yeah.
for me, I don't think it was a good decision because I think I was basing my I guess I was basing my decision off of what other people liked, but I have to remind myself sometimes that my hands are a lot smaller and I have different needs than a lot of the other people in the competitive shooting space. So for me, the Shadow 2 has not really worked out very well, to be honest with you. I'm kind of in the spot right now where it's starting to force some weird habits that I don't love, just simply because of how far the trigger reaches, and even with the reach reduction kit, it's still a little bit long for me, so I'm having to really fight the gun just to get around it. And I think that's been a big struggle. So I've been recently playing around with the idea of switching over to the 2011 platform, which I think is going to go really well if I can find one that I like. The problem is though, like I said, small hands. I want to go limited optics and change divisions, which would allow me to have like a magwell and a gas pedal and everything. And unfortunately, a lot of the gas pedals that come stock on these 2011s are farther forward than I can reach. So it's kind of like one of those battles where I'm like, okay, the handles on an MPA are really thick, and I don't necessarily love that about it. I tried an Atlas. I like that a little bit better. I'm kind of in this like trying to figure out what I want kind of mode.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of frustrating because it's like, you see these 2011s and they look great online, but you don't want to buy a custom 2011 that's $7,000 without putting hands on it first. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like a long-term decision where I just gotta put hands on enough of them to really figure out what I want. But I didn't realize how deep the world went.
Yeah. Have you looked at the new Kimbers that are out?
Yeah, I did. The 2K11, I tried that. I didn't love it. You know what's weird? So I tried one floated through the store the other day. Believe it or not, have you heard of the Bursa MK2i or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I know. Don't hate me for it, but like it's the only one that grip wise has felt like however you say the word, ergodynamically okay for like my length of pull and everything. I don't know why. Like I was like, why is the weird burst the only one that seems okay?
Hey, sometimes poor is not just a mindset; it's a lifestyle.
Okay, listen here, check it out. I am not opposed to investing in a gun. I just
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
liked any of the high end ones I've tried. It's not that I'm not impressed with them, they just haven't fit me because I'm tiny. So it's like the MPAs, I immediately was like, that's the one I want to go try, and that's one I want to like settle on because it seems like a really good, reputable brand and people seem to like it or whatever. But it's just like, I don't know, it didn't fit well. So I've been like trying to find other brands, but it's just this weird, okay. Like
You-
I can't shoot a Versa, but or I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know anything about the reputation, but I know it's cheap, so that's
Well,
worrisome.
I can't bully you at all. The only gun I ever shoot competition, if I do go shoot a competition, is a gun that I got for free because I sell my soul for 40 hours a week to do to be an overpaid and overarmed scribe. So like it's not a bash. Like I am somebody who lives in a stone or I think stone house throwing glass rocks at things.
You said that
So,
perfectly.
yeah, I nailed it. Wonderfully nailed it.
That's hilarious.
That'd be a nice T-shirt. But yeah, I'm
Live in
like,
a rock house throwing glass things.
yeah, like okay. I guess it could be equally as damaging, but yeah, it's funny because I'm like seriously not trying to cheap out on my gun, but all the like nothing's felt good. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I might just go back to the MMP and be a sad MMP user forever. Not that MMP is bad. I just really wanted to run something that's more, I don't know, more fun.
Well,
Like,
you should hop on before Lena Miklik,
Mm,
before she gets picked up by them. They don't want any more shooters. It's Mr.
oh,
Nothing.
honestly, I mean, it'd be cool, but I don't know if I necessarily, I don't know. I don't
What?
really chase after the
So you,
sponsors.
so you say you do USPSA or IDPA? Sorry, missed that one.
USPSA.
So what class are you in right now?
I'm currently a B class. I
Okay.
need to step up my game, honestly.
it's higher than I am.
Yeah, we live in a training / competition desert here in central Kansas. So
Oh, fair.
it's like 35 minutes to an outlaw IDPA match where it's I've shot the entire thing in a tracksuit with a fanny pack and a J frame, just filled with not just speed
Specs.
strips, but like different types of speed strips. So just like reach down to the fanny pack, grab a speed strip, like okay, this is what I'm shooting this time. Like I'm just figuring it out as I'm going along,
Oh my God.
and
It still outshoots a lot of the people there.
well, I was until I hadn't cleaned my barrel in a long time. I was shooting lead, and it's not as bad like on 4 or 6 inch revolvers shooting lead ammunition, but when you're shooting like an inch and 7 like inch and a quarter, inch and a half barrel, when it gets fouled with lead, your bullets start tumbling like immediately. Like so it was like halfway through this match, some guy goes, hey, someone's bullets are tumbling, and it's the guy with the J frame revolver. And we go over there, and it's like a 10-yard target, and the bullet's completely sideways. We're like, oh no. So I'm sitting like between matches, just scrubbing the shit out of my barrel, getting lead everywhere and on my hands.
That's funny.
So yeah, wouldn't recommend doing that. But
Yeah,
but we don't we are not. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for Mark, but like my practice score probably has like 1 match logged in it since like I got it in 2011, 2012.
So I've got
wow.
the only thing that gets logged in on mine are Kalash Bash and Kalashnikon.
Yeah.
So
That's funny. I mean, it's fun. Like it's for a very long time. I've always really loved and respected competition for a long time, just because of my work schedule. I wasn't really able to get to matches honestly until late last year, early this year. I finally started being able to buckle down and actually spend the time to go and like invest and the energy and time into it because it was very hard. Back in the day with Red Letter, it was the way we had the business structured at our old range. I was teaching, 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, most of the time. So by the time I got off of work, first of all, there was not really many matches that I could make it to with my work schedule as it was. But when I got off work to finally get to a match, I was so burnt out and tired that I didn't even care how I shot. I just like showed up and tried to get through it. And then over the years after we've scaled Red Letter to the point where I'm not on the range that much now and I have the time to spend on it, it was kind of cool because now that I'm spending the time there, I'm seeing the progress happen a lot faster. And now I just honestly need to just focus in and spend as much time as I possibly can. And that's probably going to be my goal for 2026 is just dedicate more time to it. I've also had to cut out a lot of other hobbies that were sucking up a lot of time that I didn't need to be spending. So I think that's part of
Feel
too
that.
is yeah, you if you have a certain type of personality, you end up having collecting hobbies for fun, and you have to realize at some point where you're like, okay, well, how is this benefiting me? Am I going to actually get anywhere? Is this ever going to make me money? Like you got to like think about these things, otherwise you're just going to waste your time in all of the hobbies.
Yeah, I was asked to coach football this year, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't. There's no way. There's no way I can do that. Not with everything else that's going on
I was
right
like,
now.
just ask me how my bus project is still going 3 years later.
Yeah, right.
No more projects, no more new
No.
hobbies, no
Yeah.
like nothing, no.
Yeah.
No, I like my personality's shitty enough already. Thank you. I don't need to add more to it.
Yeah, right. I already have enough chaos in my life. I don't need to do other dangerous things.
One thing that I'll say just real quick, I don't want to go down a different rabbit hole. Just throw it out there for you, Maddie. Is if you're stuck on going down the 2011 route, pivot just a little bit. Check out the Beretta 92 XIs. And see if you like those at all. The
Okay.
single action only Berettas.
Yeah.
Those I've been running the XI Sabia, the 92 XI Sabia, for competition and absolutely love it. Now I've done a whole bunch of ridiculous
He
stuff
hits the
to
hostage targets really, really well with
Shut
that thing.
But he does it
It's
fast.
splits. It's
That's
splits
right.
are-
That's right. I do it fast, and if there's no hostages, there's no hostage situation. But but no, seriously, see if you like it.
Okay.
You might. The trigger's not going to break like a 2011,
Yeah.
but it's going to be consistent.
Okay.
100% of the time, it'll be a little bit heavier. You can get spring kits to kind of change them up a little bit and lighten them up and so on and so forth. But just food for thought. So
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'm open to ideas. I just got super frustrated on the shadow. It's just like I said, I kind of got to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm over it. I'm either gonna go back to M&P or 2011. So if there's something else out there that I could try that's not gonna be either of those things, I'm definitely down for it.
yeah, and that was the thing with me was for the longest time I hated the Beretta 92 series of pistols because the only thing that I had to base it off of was these clapped out ones that I carried in Iraq and Afghanistan, and
Yeah.
then I get home and my buddies are like, "Look, dude, you need to rethink that and look at it again," and I have, and I've just fell in love with that, or I guess fell in love with it for the first time, and when it comes to competition shooting, that's kind of realistically going to be my go-to right now. And unless I can figure out how to buy, what do they call it? One of the sand vipers or whatever they call them.
The pit vipers?
Yeah. Was it pit? Not pit viper, not the sunglasses anymore.
They have both the Sand Viper and the Pit Viper.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I was just memeing over here.
But
So.
anyway.
Everybody's gotta have some pitties.
Yeah, right.
I used to rock them all the time. I don't know where they went.
Well, now you can buy the new Oakley Metas, and those are they look just like the pitties.
Are they just as horrible?
Yeah, they're really bad. So,
That's
but
funny.
we're kind of crunching up against time frame here, and we want to make sure that obviously we're respectful of your time. Maddie and Zach, I know you guys got to get up early in the morning, so but we want to go ahead and start wrapping this up and just say thank you for spending nearly 2 hours with us, just chatting away about different things. It's great to hear everything going on with the modular target systems and Red Letter and hearing experience with Milsim West. Zach, your background, that's just been really, really awesome. We do like to do something. Hopefully, we're not going to put you guys on the spot, but we like to dish it over to you guys for quote unquote the last 30 seconds to give us some folksy wisdom or just something that you want to pass off into the ether to, I don't know, inspire people or whatever. If it's okay, Maddie, we'll toss it to you, and then Zach, and then over to Jefe.
Yeah, sure. Gosh. Let's see. I think the biggest thing for me is if you're in the firearms industry and you have any inkling to start a business, create your own product, do something good that you don't see out there in the market right now, I would highly, highly recommend pursuing that idea. Whether it fails or not doesn't matter. I think a lot of people in this industry have good ideas that end up dying with all the rest of their thoughts because they don't feel like they're capable or ready to start a business or pursue that idea. I will tell you both. Well, I can't really speak for Zach, but I know for me, I didn't come from any sort of business background. I'm figuring this stuff out as I go, and it's a very fun adventure. It's worth it, and it's a lot of hard work. But if you're, adventurous, creative, you like inventing things, you like building things, it's definitely worth pursuing at least once. And I guess that's my little piece of wisdom is if you have an idea, see what happens with it. You might be surprised.
Awesome. Zach, do you have something for us?
Oh yeah. I'll kind of piggyback off Maddie's. I mean, if your business fails, you just learn something from it. So really, it's just a win-win, even if it fails. But if it's successful, then you still win. But if I had to have my own individual piece of advice, um, you can always be a better shooter, um, regardless on your skill set. I mean, a lot of people tend to think they're like an incredible shot, but the reality is, like, they shoot out of range like every 6 months, and they only shoot at 10 yards, which, I mean, that's better than nothing, but also it can be quite dangerous too, because if you're carrying and you're only shooting every 6 months or even every other month, it's just, you need to be better than what you think you are. Just because it's not your own life in the line, it's everybody else's beyond the muzzle of your gun. But I don't know, it's just a matter of don't settle for less, always pursue more and pursue to be better than you are the day, or I guess pursue to be better than you are today, by training more tomorrow.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah, that's good. Hefe, what do you got?
Sleep is important, guys. So make sure you put some time in your schedule to sleep. It's one of the everyone gets so focused in on like diets and exercise and everything, but if you're not getting any sleep, none of it matters. So go to bed.
Yeah, sleep is good. I've been going to bed like at 8 o'clock every night. I go to sleep
bed at 8 a.m. most mornings.
Well,
but...
I know, but I don't go to sleep at 8, but I at least crawl into bed, and usually it's about 9:30. Went to bed at like 9:30 Friday. This last Friday.
I literally would be in bed like 4 hours ago if I wasn't here.
My last little thing, real quick, is hey man, show up in your people's lives. I talked about it a little bit earlier in the podcast. My daughter is, having this fantastic weekend at Orlando.
Are you having a quinceañera in Orlando?
No, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
You could do that. We're not doing that because we're not Hispanic.
Okay.
But like I said, she doesn't know that we're going to show up, and I'm going to be there for her. I'm taking the time, effort, and money to be there, and that's the least that you can do for the people that you love, even your friends. Make sure you show up for your friends. So that's what we've got, man. Whew.
Time flies.
Time flies, man. Well, we do appreciate you guys swinging by and checking things out. Again, thank you to Maddie and Zach for having...
Where can people find you? Sorry, that's the next thing.
Last thing.
I think Instagram's usually the easiest way to find us. My personal profile is at Madison Scholar, SCHOLAR. Our businesses are tagged, or both my businesses are tagged in my bio, but Modular Target Systems specifically, if you're interested in that, it's at Modular Target Systems, or the website is www.modulartargetsystems.com. And then Zach, you want to throw your handles out there?
Mine's just Method Manufacturing, METHOD Manufacturing.
Okay.
So yeah, let us know. Hopefully it drops. Oh, sorry, my dog just barked.
No, you're good. You're good.
Hopefully it drops soon.
Yeah, for sure. We will have all of your guys' contact information in the description for you guys interested in checking these things out. I'm excited to see how this plays out in the next couple of months, especially how well you guys were received for your pre-orders. I think that is really, really awesome. Again, check them out. Information is in the description of the podcast, and we will get going. Thank you so much for swinging by and spending time with us. We will catch you guys next time, and don't forget to live, laugh, and LARP. Bye, y'all.